Living every day in your head for free. You can tap away, but I will not hear you scream. You can break your keys, spread your toxicity, your world outside reality. In your room, a little hideaway, but you let it through. Enough to go insane, living in the dark hasn't treated you well. You're building your own prison cell. Hey, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it on me. Did I brush you off? Is it your lack of friends? We never met, even if you pretend. Am I in your debt? I don't know you nothing. Don't say something you'll regret. Hey, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it on me. Hate, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it on me. Rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it. I'm telling you, don't waste it. Lies telling you, don't waste it on me. What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let 'em burn it out. Sell 'em to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping now. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away. Burn away, we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To
Welcome to the Throttle Up Racing Network. We're about to go racing. 10 seconds away from qualifying. Jamie Dunning quickest on the board right now. Justin Michael, Tyler Humphrey, Blake Giglio, Matt Goodell, your top 5. John McMillan Jr., Ronnie Osmer, Mark True, Dylan Falavich, and Bill Stringfellow. Top 10 quickest in practice as we get ready to go into qualifying. Before we go into qualifying yet, let's take a look at the Sim Racer Hub point standings. Blake Giglio, currently our point leader, 19 points ahead of John McMillan Jr. And these two went into the Roval. 1 point difference. Blake Giglio, a dominant effort at the Charlotte Roval, puts him 19 points now in the championship lead. Ronnie Osmer in third. He's 39 out of the championship right now. And he is tied with Bill Stringfellow for third place. Justin Lumpkin currently in fifth. Dylan Falavich sixth. Andrew Rattell seventh. Mark True in eighth. Jamie Dunning ninth. Joey Doucette 10th. Jonathan Cogswell 11th. Matthew Prentice, Matthew Goodell, Kevin Franks, and Travis White round out our chase field. And you can see the best stats and points on simracerhub.com. Make sure you go check out simracerhub.com. True and Cogswell both run their first laps. A 30.05 for Mark True. What we're going for right now is the 0X Designs pole award. '73 Mark True coming around on his second lap. And a 29.98 looks like for Mark True. Jamie Dunning, he's getting up to speed. Justin Michael working his tires, trying to get some heat in them. Dunning was fastest in practice. We'll see where he can qualify. Zadcock goes to fourth. Prentice up to fifth. Dunning third. Quickest Tyler Humphrey hops up to second. Second place in points, John McMillan Jr. out there setting his time right now. Jamie Dunning comes around to complete his second lap. He'll maintain fourth quickest. Kyle Adcock up to third. Fast lap for the number 9. Matthew Prentice, sixth quickest. Justin Michael, eighth on his first lap. John McMillan Jr. moves up to the fifth position. New pole sitter Justin Michael. Ronnie Osmer's now out there in the 55. We know he has qualified on several poles this season. Osmer on his first lap. The pole lap of a 29.87. That's a pretty fast lap. John McMillan Jr. will move up to second quickest. He's going to try and put the pressure on this man, Blake Giglio, currently our point leader. He's trying to hold on to a 19-point gap over John McMillan Jr. Giglio on his first timed lap sends it a little high. Stringfellow, he's tied for third in points. Giglio running the high line, trying to get as much speed as he can. This time, Giglio down to the white line. Stringfellow 11th, quickest on his first lap. We'll see if the point leader in last week's winner, Blake Giglio, can knock off the pole, knock Justin Michael off the top spot. Stringfellow to 8th, second place. Blake Giglio, so didn't quite get Justin Michael. A very fast lap. There's the 2 of Casey Herring. We'll see if anyone else is going to qualify. Make sure you check out 0X Designs if you plan on getting an iRacing paint. They do phenomenal work. Painted several of these cars you'll see in the field tonight. Right now, Justin Michael is the fast time. Got about 4 minutes left. We'll see if anybody else chooses to go. And that may be it. We're going to go ahead and give the 0X Designs Pole Award winner to Justin Michael. See if we get a word with Justin. Hey, Justin, this is Dakota in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, not seeing anybody else out there right now qualifying, so it looks like you're going to be our fast time. You just edged out Blake by .03. This track seems to be a tough one. A lot of guys were complaining about the setup throughout the week. What are your thoughts on this track? You seem to be pretty fast.
Yeah, I ran one race here a couple days ago. I did really well. Learned some stuff, and just tire management's really the key here. You got to keep that right front on there. It's just going to burn off in 1 and 2, and you just got to keep that under you for the long run, and you usually will do good.
So to explain to our viewers, a lot of these tracks like Atlanta, Charlotte, they kind of look the same, but Texas is different. Turns 1 and 2 is way different than 3 and 4. What's the difference between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4?
So 3 and 4, it's pretty flat out. It's high banked, and 1 and 2 is really low bank, sweeping turns. So I think they designed it to look like Auto Club or California. So it's the flatter it is, the more you're going to chew off your tire. Especially getting that really high speed and going into the turn 1, because you're gonna rocket off turn 4 because it's such a fast turn. So you just really got to slow down and manage your tires.
With the package that NASCAR has been running, do you think that the draft is going to play a major factor today?
It definitely will, especially for the first 10, 15 laps. It'll be pack racing, and then it'll start spreading out as the people who burn off their tires start dropping back, and everybody who saved will start coming back to the front.
Well, good job on getting the pole. You're our 0X Designs Pole Award winner, and hopefully we'll be seeing you again in Victory Lane.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That was our pole award winner. We got a couple minutes left. We'll take one more look at the point standings. Currently atop the board, Blake Giglio. He'll start second tonight. And next to, well, right behind him in third, John McMillan Jr., second in points. So these guys all right up at the front. Ronnie Osmer, he'll start 11th. He's tied for third with Bill Stringfellow, who will start in the 9th position. So our top two in points are second and third. We'll see how they race each other. And it's going to be, as we get down to the closing races, only 4 races left. And we'll have to see, can Blake hold on to this 19-point gap? And make sure you check out simracerhub.com for all your statistics and your point standings if you have a league in iRacing. So there are your times. Justin Michael very fast. And like he said, this turn 1 and 2 is the tricky part of this track. 3 and 4, pretty well wide open. You're going to see a lot, just foot to the floor, wide open through 3 and 4. Now, turn 1, it's tricky to get down to the bottom. It's very tight. You're going to see a lot of these guys probably hitting the wall off turn 2. That's probably where we're going to see a lot of our incidents tonight. Will be coming out of turn 2 and back on to the back straightaway. It's pretty tight, especially if your car is not handling the way you want it to. As we get ready to go to the grid, tonight's 0X Designs Pole Award winner, Justin Michael in the number 87. Starting in the second position, Blake Giglio in the number 16. He's our point leader. He's going to try and hold off the guy who's starting third tonight, John McMillan Jr. In the fourth starting spot, Mark True, number 73. Tyler Humphrey in the number 94. Had a great run last week at the Roval. Top 5 starting position tonight. The number 94, he'll roll off 5th. Kyle Adcock in the number 9. He's going to start in 6th position tonight. Jamie Dunning's going to roll off 7th from in the number 13 Chevrolet. In the number 38 Ford Mustang, it's Matt Goodell starting in 8th spot. Bill Stringfellow, he's going to start 9th in the number 83. Dylan Falavich in the 12. He's going to start in 10th and round out our top 10 tonight. Currently tied for third in points with Bill Stringfellow is Ronnie Osmer, starting in 11th in the number 55. Justin Lumpkin, he is the owner of 0X Designs. Definitely one we cheer for here. Justin Lumpkin in the number 4, got his first win at Talladega, ready for a second one. He's starting 12th. Matthew Prentice in the number 15. He's going to roll off in 13th position. Back with us after a couple of week absence. Glad to have him back. Jonathan Cogswell going to start in the 14th spot in the number 27. In the number 2, Casey Herring. He'll start in the 15th spot. John McMillan Sr. in the number 75. He's going to start 16th. Joey Doucette will start 17th position. Kevin Franks will start in 18th. And Jason Clark will round out our field in the 19th position. As we take a look at today's race info, 79 degrees outside. The temperature on the track is 98 degrees, so we should see quite a bit of grip for these guys. The start will be on the green flag. The restarts will be controlled by the leader. Waiting for the green flag. Green flag for Justin Michael. The inside lane should have a little bit of an advantage on this early start. Giglio able to get clear to get down to the inside line. McMillan Jr. has to move back to 4th position. This race is 150 laps. We've already got a caution. Jason Clark around. And his car already looking pretty similar to that number 19 we saw earlier here at Texas. Hit the outside wall, so quite a bit of damage for that number 19 Tracker Toyota. Take a look. What happened to Jason Clark? He and Casey Herring. Oh, looks like the 38 in front of him. Let's take a look. See what happened to the 38 of Matt Goodell as they go into the corner. And this kind of started on back. Take a look from the sky cam. 38 enters into turn 3, just gets loose. Does his best to stay off of Jonathan Cogswell and ends up into the outside wall pretty hard. A hard hit. Oh, and John McMillan Sr. nowhere to go. Quite a bit of net code. May have escaped some damage there, but looks like he and Casey Herring get together, and that's where the 19 gets clipped by the 75. So a few damaged race cars early in this one already. Couple of these guys already in the pit lane. The 19, Casey Herring trying to get his damage fixed. Matt Goodell and the 75, all those guys in the pit lane getting damage repaired. Look like McMillan may have had a tow. He is a lap down. Justin Michaels still our leader. Like I said earlier, 150 laps this race. The stage will be on lap 65. That's what we're looking for, so we can get some points awarded to the top 10. So a short green flag run. Let's see if we can get some more laps in this second run. Justin Michael able to hold the lead. The thing there was John McMillan Jr. dropped back to 4th. So every point that he loses on Giglio with only 4 races remaining, that's a much bigger hurdle than when we were at the start of these playoffs. We do a chase style playoff. Stringfellow up 1 position. Ronnie Osmer, the big mover, he's moved all the way up to 7th. So we're going back double file. Justin Michael will once again will be the control car. Justin Michael, he'll be the control car this time. Unlike the start of the race, it'll be on the leader this time. The 87, the Justin Michael is the leader. He'll have full control of when the cars go. Once that pace car's in, now the pace car pulls off. Green flag, Justin Michael gone. And a big jump for he and the 16. Mark True with a big move up to third. McMillan Jr. Man Osmer is on the move. You see him moving up now to the inside of the 94, trying to get to 5th position. He's already gained 6 positions since we started, and he is flying fast. Car's up to speed now. Osmer great on these restarts. Started in the 11th position, already up to 5th. Oh, the 51 of McMillan gets sideways, has to save it. That's a big bunch of damage to the front of Osmer's car as he was not able to check up for the 73. And McMillan trying to get back in line. They're 3 wide there for a second. So McMillan back to 8th. Has a teammate apprentice there to let him back in, and Cogswell. He and Dylan Falavich battling for 7th position. Bill Stringfellow has now moved up to the 4th spot through all that chaos. And Osmer with damage on the front end. Let's take a better look. Yeah, quite a bit of damage there to the front end of Ronnie Osmer's car. And that's going to cause him quite a bit of aero push. May cause the car to be real tight, so we'll see how much damage that does to his tires over the run. You'll have to watch it, but he is still very fast. No engine damage to Ronnie Osmer. Gonna pass for the lead, Blake Giglio. Down the backstretch, takes a look to the inside, gets around the 87. So a new leader, Blake Giglio, out front. Osmer now trying to make a move for 2nd. Justin Michael slipping back, was fast in qualifying. Having an issue here in the race. Osmer very fast, even with that nose damage, as he moves up to 2nd, now to the back bumper of our leader, Blake Giglio. And Giglio, with the lead that he has over McMillan, probably not going to race too hard. 39 points over Osmer. So Osmer on around. Blake gets a little bit loose as he hits the apron. Justin Michael choosing to just get out of these guys' way. So Osmer up 10 positions. This is the view from the rear of Ronnie Osmer's car. Everyone kind of in a straight line right now. The battle right now is for 11th position. Justin Lumpkin on the inside. Jonathan Cogswell up high. I think these guys just trying to save what they've got right now. 15 laps in of 150. It's a very early in this race. These guys are not quite letting Ronnie Osmer get too far away. McMillan still in the 8th position even after he fell back there a little bit. Maintaining, did not get any damage, just slid the tires. Blake trying to make a pass for the lead again. And he'll get to the inside of Ronnie Osmer, so Osmer gets a bonus point for leading a lap, but Giglio and Stringfellow back to the inside of Osmer. And you have to question just how much that damage is damaging the tires of Ronnie Osmer right now. Is that aero push making the car tight? Because right now the biggest issue with these cars in this setup at this track is the right front tire. Can you keep it on there? Tire saving. And Osmer running this high lane is probably not healthy for that right front tire. Mark True trying to make a move on the 87 for 6th position. Falavich now beside Osmer. Falavich going to move up to the 3rd spot. Dunning trying to take 4th now away from Osmer. As he continues to fall through the field. Justin Michael took a look to the inside of 73, but wasn't quite there enough. Osmer continuing to fall back. Osmer gets to the inside. Justin Michael high lane. So Osmer definitely trying to hold the inside. That time Mark True gets down underneath. Now McMillan Jr.'s there below the 55 of Osmer. Trying to sneak by on the bottom lane. Osmer now down in front of the 51. Trying to hold that inside line. You know, those tires probably already hurting, only 23 laps into the run. These guys can make it further than the stage. So Osmer drops all the way back, now getting passed for 8th. So Osmer will be back in 9th spot. Dunning now to the inside. Oh, he takes a look. on Falavich, but can't get there. Falavich steady in the third position now. Giglio stretching his lead over Stringfellow. Stringfellow in second. Looks like Dunning is trying his best to catch Falavich. This front little pack is made up of 7 cars from Blake all the way in the lead back to John McMillan Jr. in the 51. You see the 87 now taking a move. Gets to the inside of Dunning. That's for the 4th position, John McMillan Jr. He's the last car in this front group. Then it's back to Matthew Prentice. He's kind of all alone. Right there, Ronnie Osmer has settled in 9th. Goodell is 2 laps down. You see him right there, the 38 to the outside. The next car for position is the 22 of Doucette. Justin Lumpkin right behind him. So Lumpkin right now, he is out of stage points. He's in 11th. He would not get a stage point when we get to the end of lap 65. He's trying to get around the 22 or the 55. Another 55 struggling on these tires with the nose damage. Falavich looking to the inside of Stringfellow. 83 able to get a good run on exit. Justin Michael trying to get to the rear bumper, just can't quite get there right now. There he goes, the 87 of Justin Michael sends it into the bottom. Falavich not able to hold on, so Justin Michael back up to the 3rd position. Our pole sitter moved back to about 6th spot, and he has moved his way back forward. John McMillan Jr. has moved his way up to 6th. These guys' best time right now, 30.44, 30.33, and last time around a 31.6. So about 1.2 seconds of fall off on the tires so far in the run. Stringfellow back to 3rd. Falavich now looking to the inside. Still side by side, Falavich on the inside. Stringfellow trying to hold it as McMillan now moves up behind the 83. That's going to help him with the draft. Stringfellow back to the inside. McMillan doesn't know which lane to choose. Stringfellow trying his best. He touches the apron. Justin Michael has run down our leader. 4/10 the difference now. You know, Falavich fantastic at saving tires on the long run, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Falavich moving forward. McMillan now taking a look to the inside. Gets a good run through the corner, tries to side draft the 83. McMillan Jr. back up to the 4th position after sliding sideways. Stringfellow still battling. Gets a good run on the outside. McMillan on the low side, Stringfellow up top. Stringfellow trying to keep this stage point. The 83 able to clear the 51 and get back down to the inside. Actually gets a little bit of a gap as those guys battle side by side. Falavich pulls out a little bit in 3rd. McMillan's right behind these guys. Osmer going ahead and choosing to pit early. Was already out of the stage points. Going to try and short pit and try and get a big lead. '27 of Cogswell in, as well as the 94. Those guys must have been suffering on tires. There goes leader Blake Giglio still out front. Justin Michael, the car that is chasing him down. Falavich out there by himself, basically. In the lap car, the 94. Tyler Humphrey. Osmer gets out in front of these guys. He's 1 lap down. He's the lucky dog if we get it. Did not repair the damage on the front of the nose. Stringfellow holding on to 4th spot. Dunning, not sure what happened there, if he hit the wall, but lost a lot of time. May have tagged the wall. See if we can find if he tagged the wall here. Oh, he did. He hit the wall pretty hard. The Dunning drops to 7th. McMillan Jr. now up to 5th as he's trying to put the attack back on the 83 of Stringfellow. "20 laps until the end of the stage." These guys battling hard. This is for 4th position. Justin Michael is right behind our leader, 3/10. He gains a 10th every couple of laps. Blake Giglio, our leader, swapping best lap times with Justin Michael in 2nd. These two pretty even so far. Don't know if Justin Michael's going to be able to mount another charge before the end of the stage. Stringfellow doing a good job right now of not only holding off McMillan, but running down the 12 of Falavich just in front. John McMillan Jr. Oh, it's Falavich. Stringfellow gets sideways off the corner, almost hits the outside wall. McMillan's going to get a run on the high side. Can he get by the 83? And he will clear Stringfellow. Can Bill Stringfellow get another run? That moves McMillan Jr. up to 4th spot. McMillan Jr. is going to be able to hold that 4th spot. Stringfellow fading now a little bit. Jason Clark hits the pit lane as he was about to go a lap down. So the first car a lap down now is back to being Ronnie Osmer in the 55. He and Jonathan Cogswell are battling for that free pass position if we get a caution. So Cogswell trying to push Osmer. Blake Giglio out front, gaining time now on Justin Michael. He has increased his lead 0.7 of a second now over the second place car of the 87. And all these cars should be able to make it to the end of the stage. A lot of these guys choosing not to. Tires too bad. The 98 of Kevin Franks, he'll pit from the 11th position. Go ahead and get a set of tires, trying to short pit. Frank's trying to stay one lap down. He'll try and get back around the 16 of Giglio. Where the 98 come out there, that cost Justin Michael some time as he had to go around the outside. These three still staying close together. Stringfellow trying to reel these two in. Falavich trying to hold the other two off. And there is quite a hornet's nest right here as Prentice has caught the 13 of Jamie Dunning, who has damage from hitting the outside wall. Prentice will move to the 7th position. The 38 is 2 laps down at 17th. Here comes Ronnie Osmer. He's a lap down, so we've got cars on the lead lap, cars that are 1 lap down, 2 laps down. The 27's a lap down. He's racing with Osmer for that free pass position. Doucette's now up to the 8th spot as he gets around Jamie Dunning. The 11 cars currently still on the lead lap. A lot of these guys have already pitted. Blake Giglio is your leader, and he has extended his lead to 1.5 seconds over Justin Michael. 5 laps to the end of the stage. I think once we cross that stage, you're going to see everybody in the top 10 pit in the next lap or two after that stage ends. Sounds like some of these guys may be having to save fuel to make it to the end of the stage. Falavich in 3rd, McMillan 4th. We believe Stringfellow is saving fuel to try and make it to the end of the stage. Quite a bit of off-throttle time. These guys are way off throttle. Tires are not very good right now. Doucette trying to get around Prentice for 7th position. Dunning still pushing hard to try and get around these guys on the outside. Doucette going to make a move on Prentice to the inside. The 22 of Joey Doucette will move up to the 7th position. Doucette, Prentice, and Dunning all racing for position. That 38, couple laps down in front of him. There goes Dunning hitting the outside wall again. Justin Michael's going to pit before the end of the stage, as we are now on the white flag lap. The end of this lap will be the end of the stage. Blake Giglio out front. And that is the end of the stage. Blake Giglio will win the stage. And I expect to see all the top 10 in this lap or the next lap or two. And there comes our leader, Blake Giglio. Dylan Falavich in, John McMichael Jr. in third. He pits. Stringfellow in, Mark True. Joey Doucette's going to stay out, try and lead a lap. Prentice out as well. And Dunning in the pits. Justin Lumpkin, everyone in the top 10, all down the pit lane right now. Joey Doucette will stay out to try and lead a lap. And the unofficial stage results: Giglio winner, Falavich second, McMillan third, Stringfellow fourth, True in fifth, Doucette sixth, Prentice seventh, Dunning in eighth, Lumpkin ninth, and Herring in 10th. We will have to verify those after the race is over. Matthew Prentice goes ahead and pits. Doucette's still out there. Osmer is in second. Now he pitted way before these guys. Doucette now pulling into the pit lane. And that's going to unlap a lot of cars. Justin Michael and Ronnie Osmer. Right there, Michael already around Osmer. As we take a look at the pit strategy, we see Osmer pitted 27 laps ago. Those guys were able to make it 68 laps. There was a few caution laps at the beginning of that run. We expect Osmer to try and make it as close to at least lap 100 as he can. Here comes Blake Giglio behind. So with just 1 lap difference, 2 laps actually difference in the pit strategy, Justin Michael gets almost from 3 seconds behind, or 2 seconds behind, to 3 seconds ahead of Blake Giglio. So we see there Osmer, Cogswell, and Adcock all pitted a long time ago. These guys with tires head back around. Take a look at the lap times, and you can see Giglio over a second quicker. That lap 1.173 quicker than Osmer on the older tires, and that will make a big difference quick. Justin Michael out front, pushing, trying to gain on this lead. Little pit strategy there for the 87. Matt Goodell has to head back down the pit lane for the second time. First time he was involved in that incident early, 2 laps down. Justin Michael right there in front of Casey Herring, who is now 1 lap down. Trying to get his lap back. At least trying to remain the first car a lap down. As these guys are starting to reel in a couple of these guys who are on the tail end of the lead lap. About a half a straightaway behind the 98. Kevin Franks. He's the last car on the lead lap right now. Kevin Franks pitted quite a while ago, so they should run him down. Michael continuing to push this lead, 4.3 seconds over Blake Giglio in the second spot. Dylan Falavich holding off John McMillan Jr. Stringfellow, who was right behind these guys, is now behind Cogswell and True. And Mark True pitted on the same lap as Stringfellow, but has been able to get around him. These guys get around Cogswell. Osmer just in front of these guys on the older tires. They should run him down in the next few laps, losing almost a second a lap. Mark True has come on here in the second half of this race, pulling away from Bill Stringfellow. And this is going to be for a top 5 position when they get around Osmer in the next few laps. The Stringfellow was right behind McMillan, and now a long way behind. You see on our track map the 51 lit up in green as he goes down into turn 1, and there is Stringfellow coming across the start finish line. So not sure if it was a slow pit stop, but somewhere in that pit stop sequence Stringfellow loses a lot of time. Giglio starting to reel in Justin Michael just a touch. It's taken several laps, but now the lead down to within 4 seconds. That's a large gap, though, for Giglio to try and run down. But over this long run, he may be able to do it as the two of Casey Herring able to get by the 87. That costs Justin Michael about a quarter of a second. Herring now to the inside of the 98. That is for position as we see the 94 of Tyler Humphrey back in the pit lane, has to lock it up. Locks him up. He may have gotten down to pit road speed. Blake has reeled in almost a second in the last 4 laps. As Justin Michael caught up in lap traffic. Blake Giglio now within 3 seconds. But Blake gonna have to run through these same lap cars that Justin Michael is having to pass now. Michael on the other side of those as Giglio starts to approach. As you can see, Justin Michael, that's the car with the blue, right behind the white car of Casey Herring. Two lap cars side by side in front of Blake Giglio right now. Let's do something I like to call turn up the volume. Blake Giglio still trying to run down Justin Michael. Hasn't caught him much in the last 10 laps. Only about a tenth he's been able to reel in, but slightly fresher tires for Blake Giglio. We'll take a look at the pit strategy. Giglio 2 lap fresher tires than Justin Michael. Prentice the freshest tires in the top 10. Currently 7th spot. Only 1 lap better than everyone else, so not too big of a difference. 20 seconds off the leader, not going to make that much of a difference. Doucette, Cogswell, all these guys. Oh, the 38, I think he's 2 laps down. He's trying to find his way back on the lead lap, but just haven't had any cautions. Dunning currently in 10th. And he's kind of struggling back there. And Osmer, who short pitted by about 25 laps. He had gotten out in front of Justin Michael for just a couple of laps. And now Justin Michael, the leader, is reeling him in to put him a lap down. Osmer currently in 11th. You see those 2 cars, they're about to cross the line, and the rear cam of Ronnie Osmer, that's the leader, and Casey Herring. Casey Herring, the last car on the lead lap. Starting to reel him in. And there comes Ronnie back into the pits. Thought he was going to get as close as he could to lap 100. He can make it to the end from here. And he'll have the freshest tires on the track. We'll see how much of a difference that's able to make in the long run. And right there you see the 55 take his fast repair. So no more front end damage for the 55. A fresh car for Ronnie Osmer. Justin Michael still out front, 2.5 seconds. Over Blake Giglio in 2nd position. As we take a look there, that Toyota, that's the leader. There's the 16 of Giglio, so that's the difference right now in time. And we'll see just how much faster these tires are. And a big run right there. You see Osmer headed to the inside, so that's how much faster tires are. But Osmer's 2 laps down, as he was almost a lap down when he pitted. He's going to have to try and go around the 87 to stay on 1 lap down so that he can maybe take a wave around if he has to. '15 of Matthew Prentice. He's having a great race. He returns here to Texas Motor Speedway, running into 7th position. And all these cars right behind him. Joey Doucette there in the green and white car. That's for position. And the pink number 4 on the outside So you got 2 lap cars in this group as well. That's who he's racing. 3 lap cars in this group. And the thing about Matthew Prentice is that right now his teammate Jonathan Cogswell is right behind him. Doucette has slightly fresher tires. He's going to be able to get around the 27. Joey Doucette, another guy with a great run tonight. He's in the 8th position. He's gained 10 positions from the green flag. Poised to gain at least 1 more, as he's got some of the freshest tires on the racetrack right now. He reels in Matthew Prentice, 1 lap fresher tires than Prentice. The pass 4 position in front of these guys. Bill Stringfellow able to get around Mark True, and that was for the 5th position. Mark True not giving up, right behind, pushing hard. He's going to look to the inside. Stringfellow has to stay up top. And a good run through the corner. Stringfellow trying to save those tires. And a big run that time for the Bill Stringfellow 83. McMillan Sr. there right behind these guys. He's currently 3 laps down in 19th position. Giglio is steadily running down our leader, now within 2 seconds. And it's all going to be about when do these guys choose to take their last pit stop. A couple guys in. Only one of the top 10 is Justin Lumpkin, chooses to take his pit stop at lap 107. And Lumpkin will go a lap down. Now Mark True and Matthew Prentice both in the pit lane. But definitely seeing some activity, the 19 down the pit lane as well. Looks like the 51 of John McMillan Jr. is going to head down. Second place in points, trying to do a little short pit. John McMillan Jr. Gets into his pit stall clean. 4 tires for the 51. Justin Michael able to hold on to a 2-second lead over Blake Giglio. Dylan Falavich now pits from the 3rd position. He'll get into his pit stall. Clean stop for Dylan Falavich. Justin Michael able to gain some time as a lot of these guys coming out having to go around Blake Giglio. Bill Stringfellow into the pit lane. Joey Doucette, he pits. When will our leader stop? There's the 16 of Blake Giglio. Locks him up on entry. I believe he was able to get down to pit speed. See if Blake makes it into the stall without sliding. He is able to make it in. It'll be a 4-tire stop from Blake as there goes Bill Stringfellow back out on the racetrack. Justin Michael now in. That'll give Blake Giglio 1 lap to the good. Will it be enough to catch Justin Michael? It's Casey Herring, the last car out there. He'll pass the 87 and take the lead. Casey Herring out front here at Texas Motor Speedway. Justin Michael, he's getting up to speed. Here comes Blake Giglio at full speed. Can he get around the 87? And he's sideways, has to get out of it. And that's going to be the difference. Justin Michael still your leader. Blake Giglio just behind. He was able to gain some time, but now Justin Michael has the best tires on this speedway and the lead. John McMillan Jr. was able to move up to 3rd position through all that. Dylan Falavich right behind him. Slightly fresher tires. We'll see if he's able to run down McMillan. About 1.3 seconds the difference between Falavich and McMillan Jr. just in front of him. Side-by-side battle. Joey Doucette gets around Matthew Prentice. A lot of these guys pit well before Stringfellow and Doucette. They both pitted on the same lap. Stringfellow was up in the 5th position. He's now in 10th spot. But as we look ahead, we know Kevin Franks and Ronnie Osmer on much older tires. Mark True and Justin Lumpkin both pitted well before him. The best tires on the track is Justin Michael and Giglio, 1st and 2nd. They could afford to stay out there a few more laps with the lead that they had. McMillan and Falavich, 1 lap difference on their tires. Falavich trying to run McMillan back down, but right now McMillan a little bit faster than Falavich. Kevin Frank's going to have to pit within the next 3 or 4 laps as he is going to be running out of fuel. Osmer out there on 22-lap old tires. We'll see if Stringfellow can gain some of these positions back. He's already got 1 of them. Giglio still 2 seconds. Oh, it's the 94. Oh, tries to pit. He slows down the 2. Not sure why he was going so slow. He chose to stay out there. We'll take a quick look at just what happened from the 94. He is well off the pace on the inside. You see these cars behind him about to run him over, so not real sure what happened there. Yeah, you see on the next lap, Humphrey tries to pit, so just missed the pit lane as these guys were bearing down on him. Slows down a couple of cars up there trying to move their way forward. Dunning trying to get his lap back. He's going to have to get around Giglio and Justin Michael to do it. Jamie Dunning currently sitting in the 11th spot. Casey Herring right behind him with a little bit fresher tires. The 94 will pull out of the pit lane, 17th position, and he is 2 laps down. Was very fast in practice. It was a little bit of a sleeper pick. Some guys were picking him to maybe win this race. But Tyler Humphrey, adversity here today puts him 2 laps down in 18th position. He could gain a few of these spots back as there are from 14th to 18th all 2 laps down right now. So we'll see if Humphrey's able to gain any spots before the end of this race. Bill Stringfellow has been able to move back up to the 7th position. We know he's got fresher tires than at least 3 or 4 of these guys in front of him. Stringfellow 3 laps better than everyone, basically, besides Giglio and Justin Michael. I want to take this time to let you know about SimBox. SimBox is a button box company, and they make some of the best in the business. I have a SimBox on my rig. It's got ignition starters and all the buttons, a brake bias knob, all the cool things to make your sim rig feel a lot more like a real race car. It's really cool when you sit down in your rig. Not only do you have the wheel and the shifter, but you also have to flip the ignition switch to turn the thing on. So pretty cool. Check out SimBox. That's at facebook.com/SimBoxPC to get your SimBox today. Justin Michael has pulled out to a 4.5 second lead over Blake Giglio. Without a caution, it's going to be difficult for Giglio to find this much time. Probably just saving what he's got and wants to make sure that he comes out of this race ahead of McMillan. So Giglio, he's 4.5 seconds behind the lead of Justin Michael, but he's also 4.5 seconds ahead of John McMillan Jr. This is the battle for the championship. Blake Giglio is the point leader. John McMillan Jr., second place in the points, came into this race 19 points out. Blake able to gain some points in the stage, and looks like he's going to be able to gain points here in the final race standings, unless something happens to Giglio in the final 23 laps here at Texas. Dylan Falavich maintaining 4th spot. He's had a great day, running in the top 5 all day long. A guy who's found a lot of speed. He's still 25 seconds off the lead, but he is in 5th spot. That lets you know just how fast Justin Michael, Blake Giglio, John McMillan Jr., and Falavich are, as they're all still 12 seconds, the difference between those 4, but 26 seconds back is Mark True, hanging on to 5th spot. Ronnie Osmer, he's on way different strategy on tires. He is holding on to what he can, but with 22 laps to go, those tires are continuing to fade. But right now, a 3-car battle between Bill Stringfellow, Joey Doucette, and Justin Lumpkin. And these guys are right there. Behind these guys is the leader. Can they hold on for 20 more laps? Justin Michael has really found speed. He was already the fastest car, but has really pulled out ahead of Blake Giglio, who was able to keep up. But now Justin Michael 5 seconds ahead of 2nd position. Guys all staying in a line right now. Stringfellow in 7th. These guys reeling in both Mark True and Osmer. The question is, can they catch them before the end of this race? Stringfellow may be having some connection problems. And Justin Michael, he is reeling these guys in. Five cars right in front of him, all battling for position at the end of the lead lap. This is probably good for Giglio, but with only 17 laps to go, I think Justin Michael's smart move is probably to just ride behind these guys. Pick them off if he can, but 5 guys racing for position. Lumpkin trying to make a move on Doucette. As soon as Lumpkin tries to make a move on Doucette, here comes the 87 to try and put these guys a lap down. And all these guys that are running in front of Justin Michael are playoff drivers. Justin Michael ineligible for the playoffs. He'll get to the inside of Lumpkin. Right now, Giglio so far behind, not sure he's going to be able to make much of a difference. Stringfellow not far behind these 2 in front of him. Only 14 to go. That's Ronnie Osmer in the pink and black car just in front of Stringfellow. Stringfellow able to get away from Joey Doucette, who's now trying to hold off the 87 to stay on the lead lap. Justin Lumpkin will now move to the first car, 1 lap down. Stringfellow with a big run off of turn 2. He'll get to the outside of Osmer. Stringfellow trying to make the late pass right on the door of Osmer as they go through 3 and 4. Stringfellow will get around. That's for the 6th position. Now he's a little over a second. 1.2 behind Mark True to get back into the top 5. Doucette giving all he's got to stay on the lead lap. These guys able to run a pace that's actually keeping Justin Michael 5.5 seconds ahead of Giglio. Doucette currently in 8th spot. He's gained 10 positions from the start. That's our biggest mover from 18th to 8th. So a fantastic run for Joey Doucette. A couple of these guys involved in an early incident on the first lap, basically. And that's the only caution we've had so far in this race. Doucette's trying to get around Osmer. Can Doucette get around Osmer? Oh, Osmer, big blocks down the backstretch. And with the leader, Justin Michael, right there. Doucette will get to the inside. He'll move around Osmer. Justin Michael able to get around the 4 of Lumpkin, going to follow the 87 through. So now you got to think, as these guys are starting to get clear, will Justin Michael try and go around Doucette? This is costing Giglio some. Giglio reeling them in, but he's going to have to catch over a second a lap to try and reel in the leader. Osmer looking to the inside of Lumpkin. This is the battle for 8th. Stringfellow has caught Mark True. 4 laps to go. This is for a top 5 spot. He's moving to the outside. A big run through the corner. He puts the nose right there at the bumper. Stringfellow trying to work the high lane. May try and do a cross move. And he's got position on the high lane. 3 to go. Side by side for 5th spot. Stringfellow with a nose out front now. Gets a little loose. Able to keep his foot in it. Now side by side again. Can Stringfellow get enough of a run to clear the 73? Mark True tries to get a side draft. He will do it as they go down into the corner. They're close. Mark True working the side draft as best he can as we will go down to 1 lap remaining. Justin Michael out front. These guys in 5th and 6th battling for the 5th spot. Looks like Justin Michael letting some of these guys by to get back on the lead lap. Stringfellow, can he clear him? Justin Michael will come off turn 4. He will win here today at Texas. As these guys continue to battle for the 5th position. Giglio comes home 2nd. McMillan Jr. 3rd. It's all going to matter about this run off of turn 4. Stringfellow able to get 5th. Mark True will bring home the 6th position. What a battle. That's what good, clean racing looks like. But Justin Michael will bring home the victory. Blake Giglio in 2nd spot. John McMillan Jr. will finish in 3rd. Dylan Falavich 4th. 5th spot is Bill Stringfellow. With that incredible battle with Mark True, comes out on top to get a top 5 finish. There's your winner, Justin Michael. Try to get a word with our 3rd place finisher. That 51 of John McMillan Jr. Hey, John, this is Dakota in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Dakota.
Hey, a phenomenal race out there. Looks like a little bit of pit strategy. Able to leapfrog Falavich to get into 3rd. What are your thoughts on the race, and what was your strategy on the pits?
I thought it was a pretty good race. I enjoy racing at this track, and this definitely the strategy on the pits was I thought the only way I can get around Dylan was to pit before him. I tried getting around him before I pit there, and it's tricky to pass. So I figured I'd pit sooner and hopefully come out ahead of him.
What makes it tricky to pass? Is it just the track layout with the turns 1 and 2 being so difficult, or do you think it's maybe like this aero package that are on these cars?
I think it's a combination of both. I think just on the inside, you get really loose off the corner and you get tight getting in, and then same with the aero, right? You just get killed on the straightaways with the side drafting, so it's hard to complete a pass.
We come home 3rd today. Looks like Blake may have gained a couple more points on you. We've got 3 races left. What of these 3 races, which track are you looking forward to? What track do you think you can gain the most points to try and get this championship?
I'm hoping for Kansas to have a good race there, and not to knock on Blake, but hopefully he has a bad race to try and make up some points. But I know he's a good driver, so he's probably gonna have a good race as well. And then Martinsville's kind of a short track race, and so we'll see what it brings there. And I'm excited to see how Phoenix goes.
All right, well, great job tonight, John. You got anybody you'd like to thank after this third place finish?
I'd just like to thank all of my teammates, UFA, DQ, everybody here that races at SERL, and all the admins that are here. They do a good job.
Well, thank you, and we'll be seeing you next week at Kansas. Hopefully, you'll be in that top 3 again. Been entertaining this battle between you and Blake.
Sounds good. Can't wait.
There's third place finisher John McMillan Jr. Let's go to second place finisher Blake Giglio in the number 16. Hey, Blake, this is Dakota in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's going on?
Man, you got out front. You led a lot of laps early, but looks like pit strategy got the 87 out front and just couldn't quite get back to his bumper. What was the difference between you and the 87 today?
I kind of just think lap cars. I felt like we were pretty, and I felt like I could keep with them. And I knew if I was in front of them, we could beat them, but we got caught up with a handful of lap cars and we just couldn't make time up. Before we pit, I was right there with them. We got in it with a lap car, and then we had to pit, which, cost us about a second, and he got ahead of us by about, maybe 5/10. So that definitely was a factor in it, and then we just caught more lap cars, and definitely we're not a help, but they have right to the track too, and that's just how it's going to go. But overall, we had a really good day, and happy to come home second with some stage points.
Yeah, with this 550 package and these huge spoilers on the back, just how much of a difference does clean air make?
I think it meant quite a bit. You getting dirty air and it just didn't turn, so it sucks, but it's how it goes, and you're gonna have to, if you want to win a championship, so you're gonna have to learn how to do it. So I definitely learned a lot, and I'm gonna take that to Kansas next week.
So I'll ask you the same question I asked John McMillan Jr. You came into this 19 points ahead, and you got 3 races remaining. What track are you looking forward to out of these final 3? What track do you think you can maybe get a win or collect the most points over John McMillan Jr.?
I think Martinsville. I know it sounds crazy, but we're really good at Martinsville. We have been in a lot of leagues that we race, and I think that's where we could really pull out a win. And if we can have a good Kansas, I think we can almost lock it down going into Phoenix. So I think if we can have a good 2 weeks here, because we won the stage, and I don't know how many stage points he got, but we got quite a bit of stage points, and we finished ahead of him, so we should be sitting really good.
What do you think about these races? Today we had 1 caution, and it was like on the first start, so basically a caution-free race. What do you think about caution-free races, and do you think we'll see that at Kansas?
They're boring, man, let me tell you. But I don't know. I think Kansas is just going to be a lot different, though. I think it's going to be I think you can run probably 2 lines. You're going to see a lot of slide jobs, I think, and it's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's difficult on saving tires, but a different beast at Kansas for sure. You got anybody you'd like to thank after your top 2 today, Blake?
Great setups. They give me all my open setups. You for broadcasting do a great job with that. SERL as a whole. 0X for making my paint. Looks good as normal with them. Foot out of racing. And just everyone that makes it possible.
All right, Blake. Well, great finish, and hopefully you'll keep getting these top 3s and come home with a championship.
Yep, thank you.
And that was second place finisher. Let's get Justin Michael into the interview room. Hey, Justin, this is Dakota in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you got out there, you qualified on the pole, but early in the race, you dropped back. Not sure if you're just trying to save your tires, as these guys were going really hard at the beginning. But over the run, you get back out front with some pit strategy. What does your race look like today? And can you explain some of that pit strategy?
Yeah, I'm not going for points, so I knew everybody was going to try to make the lap 65. So, my strategy was to short pit them by a lap or 2, and I think that got us way, way out front. And then just the clean air I mean, clean air was key. If you had dirty air, you couldn't do anything there. At the end, we were catching a group of lap cars. It was half second, 3/4 second faster a lap until I got to them, and then I just stalled out. So I got past one, and then I couldn't get past the rest of them. I got to the inside of the one guy. I know they're fighting for position, so I'm not gonna, go too hard. But I got cut off, so I just kind of backed off and just let him have it. I even let the one lap car back by. It's like he was nice enough to let me by, so I figured, we'll just give him the lap back at the end. But everything else, it was a good race. Tire wear was terrible, just terrible. I'm surprised we didn't blow right fronts today.
Yeah, I was listening to Bill Stringfellow's stream. I heard you come over and say that at one point your right front tire was at 35%. How many laps was that? Was that a full fuel run? Did you guys go a full fuel run today?
Yeah, that was I think -2 laps since I short pitted. Could have went 2 more. So, but yeah, just the way it was pushing, especially when 1 and 2. I'm surprised we didn't blow any tires today.
Yeah, an impressive run. You got 3 more races. Are you going to be able to run at least 2 of these with us? And what track are you looking forward to out of those?
I won't be here next week. I'll be out of town. I'll be at the Kansas race. So we might run Martinsville. We'll see. And I'm up in the air about Phoenix. I don't want to get in. That's the final race and everything. I don't want to mess with anybody. Let them have at it.
Well, great race today. And you come home a winner again, win it from the pole, pretty dominant in today's race. You got anybody you'd like to thank today, Justin?
Everybody out there watching, hopefully it was a good show for everybody. Scott Patton out there from Patton Paints for painting this awesome car, awesome Beretta Toyota. So we'd always appreciate that. And Chief for calling a good race, putting on a great league as always.
All right, well, appreciate you, Justin, and keep on coming to keep on winning these races.
Thank you, sir.
And there was our winner, Justin Michael. And next week, we will be back with you next Sunday night for the Kansas race in the SERL Cup Series for the SERL. They have started a couple more series, a Super Speedway series on Thursday nights. We will be covering that this Thursday night here on the Throttle Up Racing Network. I will be racing in their other 2 series that are coming up very soon. They'll be on Full Send Racing Network, Broadcasting Network, so check out those guys on YouTube. But if you are looking for a league to race in, Super Speedway Series on Thursday, Truck Series on Saturday night, and as soon as this season is over, we're going to be starting up a next-gen series racing next year's cars. So if you are looking for a league to join, go to Southern Excitement Racing League on Facebook. There is a Discord link in there. Hop in there and come run with us in a couple of these leagues. We'd love to have you. And as for that, this was a great race. Great job to these top 3 finishers. And a great clean race there at the end between Bill Stringfellow and Mark True. But as for us, we are signing off. We will catch you all next time.